Welcome to YogaHab. We're so glad you're here. My name is Anna Easterlane. I am a doctor of physical therapy and TherHab Fitness instructor here at Novo Therapeutic Fitness and Physical Therapy in Clyde, North Carolina. Our class today is a Level 2 YogaHab class that combines functional strengthening, active stretching, balancing exercises, and mindful breathing techniques intended to foster a sense of calm and well-being. We'll be combining postures in seated as well as standing today during our class, so you'll need a sturdy chair. You're welcome to practice in your sneakers or tennis shoes or barefoot if you prefer. Maybe take a moment to look around. Make sure there are no hazards in your area and that the flooring itself is not slippery in any way. Your enjoyment of class and safety are our top priority. I'll be giving you lots of options as we move through class today. Choose what feels best to you. Know that you can stop and rest at any time. And if you've received guidance from a physician or physical therapist regarding guidelines to protect your body, take those things into consideration as you're choosing what feels good. All right, let's begin. We're starting in seated today. Feel free to come forward a little bit in your chair so that your back is away from the back of the chair. We'll bring our feet about hip distance, finding our knees above our ankles, and taking a moment to feel evenly weighted between your two hips so that we feel centered. We're finding length through our spines, a little lift through the crown of the head, and we're allowing our shoulders to slide away from the ears to create a little space for our neck. We'll begin with a few deep breaths. You may wish to place one hand on your abdomen, and as we inhale deeply, fostering what we call a diaphragmatic breath, the belly expanding. As we exhale, gently drawing the navel towards the spine, feeling a light abdominal contraction. Once more, we're inhaling deeply, allowing the belly to expand. Exhaling, drawing the navel towards the spine. Enjoying one more breath like this. And now let's combine our breathing with a little bit of movement. If you still have one hand on your belly, feel free to allow it to rest in your lap. Let's bring our attention to our feet. As we inhale now, floating the heels up off the floor. Exhaling, heels down. An inhale, heels rising. And an exhale to lower. One more breath. Let's move our focus to the toes and the balls of the feet. And inhale now to flex the feet, drawing the toes towards the ceiling. And our exhale again to lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Again, one more time. Let's combine these two movements. We'll alternate the toes lifting with the heels lifting. And for this exercise, breathe in any way that feels comfortable to you. Toes lifting up. Toes come down. Heels lift. Heels lower. And continue, checking in with your breath. Let's try one more. When you feel ready, we'll simply allow the feet to rest once again on the floor, and maybe just taking a moment to notice if your feet feel a little more awake, maybe a little warmer even. We'll guide our attention now into our shoulders. Once again, we move with the breath and inhale as our shoulders shrug towards the ears. And exhale, melting the shoulders down. Inhaling, shoulder shrug. And exhale, finding a sense of relaxation as the shoulders melt down. One more time. Let's turn this shrug into more of a roll. Here we're inhaling, shoulders up. Exhaling, shoulders back and down. Inhaling, circling towards the ears. Exhaling, circling towards the back of your chair and down. Again, just one more. Relaxing the shoulders. Notice how they feel. Let's bring our attention into our hands now. I invite you to turn your palms up in your lap. We very simply are going to spread our fingers wide, really stretching between the thumb and the pinky. And then just allow the hands to relax, perhaps into loosed fists. Again, we'll inhale, spread wide, stretch out through all the fingers. And exhale to relax. One more time here. When you're ready, we'll bring our hands to touch at the center of our chest. Just a little bit of stretching and movement for the wrist here. We'll start to wave the hands side to side. So the fingers move towards one elbow and then to the other. This is another nice exercise to just simply breathe as it feels comfortable to you. As you feel ready, we'll meet back at center with the hands. And now on an inhale, we'll lift the hands up through center, overhead, go as far as it's comfortable for your shoulders, and then we'll open the arms out and around. We'll meet where we started, hands at the center of the chest. Another inhale, lifting off. Exhale, out and around. One more time. We'll meet back where we started with the hands in the lap, and we're going to move into what we call cat-cow. This is the movement through the spine, which can also benefit the back and the neck and shoulders. We'll take an inhale and think of lifting our sternum, the middle of our chest, up towards the ceiling. Hands can rest in the lap here. And as we exhale, we'll return our spine to a neutral position, hugging the belly back in. If it's comfortable, you may even wish to gently round through the back. It's just an option. An inhale, once again, will lift the chest, growing tall, lengthening through the front body. And then an exhale to either firm the navel to the spine and just return to neutral, or gently round. If you'd like to add on to this, we'll inhale and open the arms out as the sternum lifts. And exhale, hands to the lap as we curl. Inhale, open out. And exhale to curl. One more option here. As we inhale and open out, perhaps taking one foot and extending the leg out in front, letting the heel rest on the floor in front of your chair. And an exhale as we curl, we'll bring that foot back to where it started. Let's go to the other side. Inhale, open up, the option to tap that heel. And an exhale, bringing everything back in. Let's do two more, option to add the legs. And once again, meeting back at center. From here, let's float one arm up, growing tall, welcoming an inhale. And as we exhale, we'll gently side bend, stretching between the hips and the shoulder, out through the fingertips on that side. Coming back through center, let's switch. An inhale, lengthening. Exhaling to stretch. I'm going to give you an option to add the legs again here. So as I'm lengthening up on one side, I'm going to take the opposite leg this time. And maybe that leg kicks out a little bit to the side. almost as if we're reaching up and over, the fingertips aiming in the direction of those toes. Recentering, both with the arm and the leg. Opposites again. Again, a sense of reaching up and over as if the fingertips are reaching for those toes. Let's try one more on each side. As you arrive within a good moment for a pause, we'll return to our starting position, and this time we're going to take a nice deep inhale. Both arms sweep up and out. We grow tall, stretching through the torso. And just an exhale to return the hands alongside the chair. 2 more times like this. Inhale, stretching tall. And exhaling. 1 more breath. All right, well done everyone. We are going to move into some standing position behind the chair. So take some time to make some adjustments. As we meet behind the chair, we're going to come into what's known as mountain pose. So I'll invite you to bring your feet about hip distance here to feel a sense again of growing tall through the spine, out through the crown of the head. And let's return to that awareness of our breathing, feeling free to keep one or both hands connected to the chair for a little additional support. At any moment for some added challenge, the hands can come beside the body, or the hands might even come onto the hips. Let's take one more deep breath here. We'll begin to work a little bit more into some major muscles in the low body. So this pose in yoga is known as chair pose. And so again, we can have our hands on the chair as needed, or hands can come to the hips. Let's start with a nice deep inhale to grow tall. As we exhale, we're hinging through the front of our hips and softly bending our knees. Hips go back as if they're reaching for an imaginary chair behind us. And then we inhale once again, growing tall, feeling a little work through the back of the hips. Let's sit back and down, only going to a level that feels good to you. And growing tall. Feel free again to play with the positioning of the upper body. Let's try 3 more. Nice deep inhale and exhale. We've got 1 more here. We'll meet back in mountain pose, and you might take a moment now to just notice how your legs and hips are feeling. Again, hopefully they're a little more awake, maybe a little warmer. We're going to go into what's known as a warrior 1 stance. You can start with either side, stepping 1 foot back into what looks a little bit like a lunge, but we're going to allow that back heel to settle into the floor. So if you need to adjust your stance a little bit, perhaps making it a little shorter to create a greater sense of stability and allow for comfort in the back ankle, feel free. If on the other hand you would like a little more challenge, take that stance and make it a little longer. See how that feels to you. Our front knee is soft or bent right above the ankle. And you're very welcome to just stay here, focusing on the low body. You can have your hands on the chair for support, or we may begin to play with floating 1 arm up. And then we'll alternate sides. This is a great place to inhale and an exhale to lower. I'd like to offer you the option to continue alternating arms, or if you're ready for a challenge, inhaling both arms up, growing even taller, and exhale to lower with control. Inhale, And exhale. Let's try 2 more here. When you feel ready, we're going to make a transition to the other leg. So I can use the chair for some support as I transition. The opposite foot is going to go back. Once again, that heel is down on the floor, and we're creating a stance that feels comfortable to us. So feel free again to make some adjustments. Front knee is bent more or less right over the front ankle. One arm reaches up on an inhale. Exhaling down. Once again, the option to continue alternating or exploring a little additional challenge. An inhale and an exhale. We have 3 more breaths. And then we'll find our way back towards mountain pose, checking again that our feet are about hip distance. So we're going to go back to that moving chair pose where we sink both hips back and down. Feel free again to keep the hands on the chair as needed. A nice deep inhale. We exhale, hug the belly in, and lower. Inhale to rise. This time as we sink back and down, I want to give you the option to reach one arm forward out in front of the body. We'll alternate again. We have 3 more options to go with both hands. This is our last one for now. And standing tall. All right, from the back of our chair, we're going to take and step our feet as wide as the chair or maybe a little wider for some added challenge. In this moment, both feet are facing more or less forward, so they're parallel to one another. But we'll take one foot, your choice which side you start on. We're turning that foot out, so now it's more perpendicular to our stance or to the chair itself. Much like the warrior one, we've got that front knee more or less right above the front ankle. Again, make some adjustments so that you feel comfortable. And we can always lengthen our stance or shorten our stance as needed. So if you need a little extra moment here to play around with alignment, feel free. Find what's feeling good to you. We'll add the arms. This time one arm floating so that it is now parallel to the floor, almost like you're spreading your wings on that side. And exhale to lower. I want to give you the option to alternate arms. Maybe both arms this time. Again, an inhale to spread our wings. Exhaling each time we come down. We have 2 more breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. All right, nicely done. So we've turned one set of toes out. We're going to turn those toes back in. So we come back to that stance where we feel the feet are more or less parallel for a moment. And then opposite foot is going to turn open. And again, you may want another moment or two just to kind of make some adjustments. Find that front knee above the front ankle. And then we'll flow with our arms with an inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Again, the option to alternate for these first several breaths. And then you may wish to take it into the double arm variation and inhale. And an exhale. 3 more breaths here with our warrior 2. As you find your way to a good stopping point, we'll bring the hands back to the chair. Let's spin the feet so they're parallel, and we're going to step back in again to that mountain pose, feet once more about hip distance. We're going to try that flowing chair that we've been working on. So again, just a quick reminder here, we're hinging from the hips, sinking the hips back and down, bending the knees to the level that feels good to you. And then we rise. Option now to take one arm out to the side and think of squeezing your shoulder blade towards the spine. We can alternate here, squeezing shoulder blade to spine. Three more full breaths if you feel up for a little more adventure, perhaps both arms. One more, and inhale, and exhale here. All right, so we're going to move into some work with some balancing postures. To do that from here, I'm going to step one foot back. This is a little like how we started with our Warrior One. And you may find that you start with your back heel down, which is wonderful. Remember that you can stay here in Warrior One stance and just simply work on strengthening a little bit from this position of the legs. If you're feeling ready for a little bit more, we're going to try what's known as a modified standing locust. So we'll start by floating the back heel off the floor, which is going to work a little bit more through the ankle and that back leg. As a result, some of our weight shifts to the front foot, so you may be feeling that as well. This is a wonderful place to stay. If you'd like to add a little option, whichever leg you have behind you, consider adding the opposite arm. And breathing deeply here. If you would like more challenge still, I'm going to invite you to come back to a place where maybe you have your hands supporting you on the chair. We can shift even more weight forward to that front leg and float the back foot off for a moment. This is going to engage the gluteal muscle even more on that side. And we could again add the opposite arm. When you're ready, we'll slowly lower. So let's try this balancing pose on the other side. So we had quite a few options there. We're stepping back, maybe finding more of the Warrior One stance. To move into the modified locust, we're lifting the back heel, starting to feel a little more engagement through the legs, the weight shift into that front foot. Maybe we add the opposite arm. This might be plenty today. This is a great place to practice some balance. Or if you want to shift into lifting that back foot off, again, you might start with the hands on the chair to facilitate that full weight shift forward. Feel the glute muscle on that lifted leg working for you. We can again add that opposite arm. It becomes a little bit more of what we call a Warrior Three. When you're ready, we'll find our way back to mountain pose. So we're going to move into tree pose from here. One more balancing exercise. I'm going to step to the side of my chair so this is a little easier to see. Our last balancing exercise will be tree pose. I'm going to take a step to one side of my chair so that you can more easily see my feet. Feel free to do the same or simply practice behind your chair if that's more comfortable for you. To find our way into tree pose, we'll be shifting our weight onto one foot, which becomes our standing leg. Take a moment to feel strong from the foot up into the hip on that side. Our opposite heel will lift slightly, and this may be enough to produce a feeling of balance that feels like a challenge to you. One hand could be on the chair for support. If you'd like a little bit more work here, consider spinning the knee out to the side, feeling the side of the hip working a little bit, strengthening those muscles. Propping the heel of the lifted leg just above the ankle of the standing leg. From here, finding a tall posture, maybe hugging the belly in slightly. Finding your breath. As a bonus option, maybe one or possibly both arms could float up. Give yourself a few more full, complete breaths here in tree pose. When you're ready, we'll release, feeling free again to use the chair for support during our transition. And we'll try this on your other side. So we feel that sense of the foot in contact with the floor, energizing up into the hip. Opposite leg could just simply lift through the heel, or spinning that leg open, feeling the side of the hip working a bit more. Discovering the breath once again. And as an option, adding one or maybe both arms. Enjoying a few full breaths here as we develop our balance. When you feel ready, we'll release. We'll find our way back to sitting in the chair. Once again, I'll invite you to bring the back away from the back of the chair so you're towards the front of your seat. Feeling the feet positioned again about hip distance. Let's stretch a little through the muscles of the chest. Take the hands to the sides of the chair. You may even wish to roll the shoulders back and down, gently squeezing the shoulder blades together. Breathing deeply as we gently lift through the sternum, the center of the chest. If you'd like to add on to this today, I'll invite you to extend one arm out to the side, spreading the fingers wide here. This may be enough to increase both the strengthening and the stretching you're feeling. If you'd like to add even more, the opposite hand can come and gently rest with our fingertips on the front of the shoulder. Very light pressure here, just encourage that shoulder to open slightly more as the hand eases back, perhaps an inch or two. Once more, breathing deeply here. When you feel ready, we'll switch sides. Perhaps noticing if one side's a little different than the other, that's very common. Enjoying a few more full, complete breaths here. And as we release, let's come back to where we started with this, with both hands on the sides of the chair, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting again through the chest, as if we're evening out both sides just a bit, enjoying a few more full breaths. We'll move into a gentle twist from here. Depending upon how your body is feeling today, you may very simply wish to cross one hand over the opposite leg and turn the chest a little to one side. This might be plenty. If you'd like to go a little further here, consider lifting the back arm slightly behind you, a little like the last exercise. Feeling that openness once again through the chest, lengthening through the crown of the head. Enjoying a few more full breaths. Nice deep inhale to recenter. Let's switch sides. Again, maybe keeping this gentle today. Just crossing one hand over the opposite side. Feeling a little spin of the chest to this side. Only as an option, adding the back arm. Enjoying some deep breaths. When ready, recentering. We'll move into a gentle seated forward fold for some stretching through the low back. If you'd like to explore this in a mild sort of stretchy way, we can just simply lean our arms into the lap, gently folding. See how this feels. If you'd like to go a little further here, maybe the hands start to walk down to the shins, the ankles. If it's comfortable for you, maybe the feet or the floor itself. Once you've found a place that feels best, finding some deep breaths. This is a great place to notice how the breath moves into the back of the body. wherever you are. We'll begin to slowly work our way back up. We'll move into a few more moments of deep breathing so that we end with just a little more relaxation today. Feel free if you'd like to slide the body now against the back of your chair, aligning your ears above the shoulders. Palms can rest down or maybe palms turn up. One hand might come back to the belly if you'd like to feel the belly moving again. We're inhaling to expand through the abdomen. This time we're exhaling, slowing the breath down. Inhaling, belly expands. Exhaling, allowing the exhale to leave a little slower than usual. You may wish to close your eyes here for a few more deep breaths. Welcome a sense of relaxation throughout the body, softening just a bit more into your chair. When you feel ready to do so, we'll bring our awareness to our toes and give our toes a gentle wiggle. Bringing our awareness to our fingers, giving our fingers a little wiggle. If your eyes are still closed, opening the eyes back into your space. Let's enjoy one more full breath together if you'd like. We'll sweep the arms out and up once again. This time, palms meeting above the head and exhaling the hands to the center of the chest. Thank you so much for joining us today. From all of us at Anovo and TherHab Fitness, we wish you much health and wellness. Bye for now.